Live from Philadelphia, this is Fox 29 Morning
Their
News.
concern was, am I going to get shot? And people started running into the hotel.
Shots fired in the middle of Rittenhouse Square. The new information we're learning as the story develops right now. Plus, a young child in a tragic accident falling several stories off his family's balcony. The evidence police hope will shed light on exactly what happened. And this.
We're not sure if our graduation date is going to be pushed back.
What about tuition reimbursement? I'm paying for this.
Thousands of professors are preparing to strike, affecting more than a dozen colleges in our area. What staff say they are fighting for and what the threat of no class could mean for more than 100,000 students. Also, keep your sweaters in your closet, but enjoy the summer-like weather. Why it will feel more like August than October, and when we can expect fall weather to return. Good day, everybody. It's Wednesday, October 19th, 2016. Thanks so much for waking up with us this morning. Sue, I'm moving too fast. I already spilled an entire cup of green tea on my desk this morning.
Yikes. Yeah, well, as Bob Kelly just said, it can only get morning. Bob Kelly.
Good morning. I put the air on last night.
Wow.
Because it was just too hot in the house. Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, 4:02, a live look at Good. Lauren, back over to you.
Thank you, Bob. Right now, police are looking for clues in a shooting that happened last night right in the middle of Rittenhouse Square Park. They say a man was trying to break up a robbery. Let's get right out to Steve Keeley, who's live in Rittenhouse with those details. Hi, Steve.
Well, we used the word brazen yesterday, how criminals and guys with guns don't care who's around or where they are. This case is the extreme version of that now. Here we are around 8-figure homes, $10 million plus address, and this happens right in prime time on one of the nicest nights we'll ever have in October, where hundreds of people are out right in the middle of this park where people are constantly walking dogs, strolling around, hanging out. Look through the construction fencing. Maybe because of all the construction fencing here that these criminals thought they had some cover. Beyond that fencing, you see the stone fence. If you're not familiar with Rittenhouse Square, in the middle of the park, about a 3-foot-high stone fence. So it happened right in there, right about 30 feet from that gazebo. Now look at that gazebo. It's almost octagon shaped. And right under those white lights that you see there are surveillance cameras on every side of that octagon-shaped gazebo. So they've got this on surveillance. They've got these guys approaching a group. They've got these guys running from the scene, and they've got what happened. Now let's go to our video. And the first shot we're going to show you is a bicycle. This Good Samaritan was on a bicycle, and the officer I talked to said probably a local delivery guy, and that's why you see that milk crate on the back of there attached to the back of his bike, probably coming from a food delivery here on Rittenhouse Square. And because he delivers here often, he probably knew these guys because one of the two armed holdup men is very familiar with them. When I say them, people in the park, police even. Police have his nickname. They said they think they know where to find him, and they thought they were hot on his trail, and they were hoping to catch that guy who would lead them to his culprit. Here's Inspector Scott Small talking about the shocking case of robbery in Rittenhouse Square and then shooting in Rittenhouse Square.
That's from several witnesses that this 39-year-old individual was very brave to be intervening in a robbery where he clearly sees at least one person with a gun, and we're getting reports from witnesses that at least two of the perpetrators that I described both had guns. So this 39-year-old victim who intervened was very courageous, very brave, but he ended up getting shot. But fortunately, very, very lucky for him and us, it appears that he's going to survive the multiple gunshot wounds to the chest, the torso, and the shoulder.
Well, one of the reasons he survived is the police are always nearby here. And so let's come back to our live picture now, and you'll see a police SUV with the brake lights you'll see, and the headlight you see there is a patrol car. They've been driving on the sidewalk through the park constantly on patrol around here, and you know they're going to be here probably even after they announce an arrest in this case. But until they do, they want people with the most expensive address in the city to feel that it's safe to walk their dog this morning. And now you see the police putting their flashing lights on. They want to show a visible presence here, and they're not going to let this kind of stuff happen at this spot right here. Plus, thousands of people live here. There are high rises surrounding Rittenhouse Square, if you're not familiar with it, right in the middle of Center City. So the reason that guy survived is these cops took him into their patrol car and got him super fast to Hahnemann, right in the emergency room, and even within 90 minutes, I'm told, the surgeons there who are used to dealing with gunshot victims had him stabilized. So critical but stable, meaning he'll survive and he'll be able to help this investigation probably as early as today, thanks to the cops and the surgeons at Hahnemann and all the witnesses. Now, the initial people, Lauren, that were being held up, as many as 5, well, the gunshots go off. And of course, what do? They run for their lives. So police were still looking for them last night and hoping they'll all come forward to describe what they saw. So a wide investigation on this case already this morning, just about, let's do the math here, 6 hours, 7 hours after it happened.
So odd and bizarre. Steve Keeley, thank you so much. Over in Winfield Heights, a 4-year-old boy has died after police say he fell at least 7 stories from an apartment balcony. Police say it happened yesterday evening at this apartment building on the 3800 block of Conshohocken Avenue. The child was taken to Children's Hospital, where he later died.
The child comes through the screen of the apartment. He lands at some point onto the decking area of the decks that you have here, which are cement. And we're not quite sure how he gets from the decking area over the fencing at this point.
Investigators are interviewing witnesses to figure out how this happened. They are hopeful nearby surveillance cameras will shed some light into their investigation. Well, in less than an hour, we will know if Pennsylvania state system faculty members and coaches will go on strike. This will affect students at Pennsylvania's 14 state universities. Dave Kinchin joins us live from Westchester University with more on this. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Lauren, and we can tell you the University Teachers Union burning the midnight oil. They actually tweeted out moments ago it's 4 a.m. and they're still here, meaning they're still trying to get some kind of a deal done. At least that's how we interpret that tweet there. But the strike tentatively set for 5 a.m. here at Westchester University. If they do not get a deal, talks broke down last night. Now, the largest protest will be set here at Main Hall, where we are now. Last night, negotiations broke down between the University Teachers Union and the state university system. 14 universities are impacted, 105,000 students and 5,500 faculty. Pay raises and health care contributions are just some of the sticking points here. Westchester University is the largest in the system, and students here are sounding off.
I just hope that it doesn't go on too long to where we start missing assignments and then we can't finish out the semester with classes.
And I'm not really excited for it because if it goes on for too long, then we're gonna have to redo class and stuff like that. We're not sure who's gonna teach our classes.
We're not sure if our graduation date is going to be pushed back, and it's a little worrying because we all have plans after graduation.
If we do go on strike for a very long time, what about tuition reimbursement? I'm paying for this, and now I'm losing out on my money.
Well, some of the other issues include part-time professors. The union says that it's been working without a contract for the past 15 months. Governor Wolf has urged both sides to continue negotiations, and it sounds like the union's working on that at this early hour. And by the way, if this strike does happen, the big question is what happens. Well, the state university system says students should still go to class, but also warned that some classes could be canceled, so it could be a very chaotic day if the strike indeed happens at 5 a.m. Back to you.
Man, this could cause some issues. Dave Kinchin, thank you. And You Decide 2016, much happening over the last 24 hours. The Clinton camp continues to answer more questions over emails released by WikiLeaks. The president slams Donald Trump over his claims the election is rigged, and the two nominees are hours away from their final debate. A seemingly confident Hillary Clinton is in Las Vegas preparing for tonight's final presidential debate, but experts say she is still grappling with the fallout from fresh WikiLeaks releases and accusations of quid pro quo. A senior State Department official allegedly tried to pressure the FBI to change the classification on at least one of Clinton's emails. In the meantime, her husband, Bill Clinton, spoke at a rally in Bluebell yesterday.
If America worked more like this community college, we'd be way better off. Now, think about it. Think about it. It's open to everybody without regard to race, religion, income, politics, abilities and disabilities, sexual orientation.
His message was intended for millennials. The former president also spoke to students about education reform and how Hillary Clinton plans to make higher education affordable. On the GOP side, Donald Trump unveiled a new proposal in Colorado. He is now calling for the Undersecretary of State Patrick Kennedy to be fired. FBI records show Kennedy asking the FBI to reclassify emails sent from Hillary Clinton's server as part of a plan that would have allowed more FBI agents in Iraq. The president hosted his last state dinner as leader of the United States. The president and First Lady welcomed the Italian prime minister and his wife as their final guest last night. Earlier in the day, from the Rose Garden, the president weighed in on Donald Trump's unfounded claims that the election could be rigged.
I have never seen in my lifetime or in modern political history any presidential candidate trying to discredit the elections and the election process before votes have even taken place. You start whining before the game's even over? If whenever things are going badly for you and you lose, you start blaming somebody else, then you don't have what it takes to be in this job.
The meals at the state dinner were prepared by celebrity chef Mario Batali, and Gwen Stefani performed. 4:13 this morning. In one South Jersey community, children are afraid and local parents are fed up, fighting for their kids' safety, the technology that could protect families. But the question is, who should pay for it?